The Knicks are back in action tonight after the All-Star break, so let's get caught up on all news coming out of Terrytown and break down the matchup against the 76ers with New York Post Knicks beat writer Stefan Bondy. Stefan, you're the hardest man in New York. I hope you got a chance to take a break because the Knicks got themselves a little break, and they also got a little bit healthier during this All-Star break. Who's back tonight against the Sixers, and are there any new updates on Julius Randle and some other guys who've been banged up?
Yeah, so Dante DiVincenzo is definitely back. He missed the last game before the break. Isaiah Hartenstein is probable. My understanding is that he's going to warm up with the intention of playing, and assuming no setbacks, he's going to play. Same deal for Bojan Bogdanovic. He missed the last game with a calf strain. As far as Julius Randle, nothing really has changed. I know there was, some alarms going off about him saying that he hasn't ruled out surgery, but that was always the case. The case was he's going to rehab with the intention of coming back. And if there are any setbacks or if anything goes wrong during the rehab, then yes, he will have surgery. So there's always that chance. And that's what he was talking about yesterday, that if rehab doesn't go well and, the tests that he's taken along the way show that he needs surgery, he will undergo surgery. I mean, it's a very tricky injury, the dislocated shoulder. And I'll also add this. One thing about the dislocated shoulder is it's highly susceptible to getting re-aggravated. So, once he starts playing, there's a concern that he will get injured again. So one discussion that has been had is, hey, maybe we want to hold him back until later in the season, therefore reducing the risk of him re-injuring himself before the playoffs. So there's a lot of moving parts here. As Josh Hart said today, the timeline kind of slides as you go along, and that's where they are with Julius Randle.
So they're going to be cautious with that rehab, which is, in my opinion, a smart decision. So it looks like that he could be out an extended period of time. You think this is going to continue to put a lot of the workload on Jalen Brunson, or since Tibbs and crew and the coaches had a little bit of time to kind of self-scout, self-analyze themselves, you think that they've come up with a new way or other ways to get buckets from other guys?
I think it's a combination of both. I think you're going to see Jalen Brunson putting up big numbers, just like he was before the All-Star break. With that being said, yes, they need to discover different ways to score because teams have begun keying in on him. I mean, we saw it in Houston. They were picking him up. They were picking him up the entire 94, and Dillon Brooks was a pest to him. So yeah, I think Jalen Brunson is going to continue to do work. He's going to continue to see most of the offense, but guys like Dante DiVincenzo, he's been playing really well. He needs to continue hitting that three-point shot. Isaiah Hartenstein coming back will help. They do need to find different ways to score because Josh Hart, he's a great defensive player. He does need to figure out that three-point shot because it's been very inconsistent this season.
Other than trying to find different ways to score, what championship details do you feel like the Knicks need to improve on now that they're out of the break to really put themselves in a position to be considered contenders?
Championship details, I mean, that's tough to really identify. I think defense is obviously a big concern right now because what happened is you traded Quentin Grimes, who was one of their top perimeter defenders. You've lost OG Anunoby for an indefinite period, and you brought in two players, Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic, who are not known for their defense. Burks is an average defender. Bojan Bogdanovic is probably a below-average defender. He'll try hard, but he just can't do what OG Anunoby does. So I think in order to stay afloat here and to get themselves in a good position come playoff time in terms of seeding, because it's important to me to avoid that 4th seed. If you can get in the 2-3, that's where you want to be because you don't want to play the Boston Celtics until the conference finals. They're going to have to figure out how they're going to play defense without OG Anunoby and without Quentin Grimes.
All right, the defense or better defense could get them that 2 or 3 seed. Let's talk about tonight. They lost 4 straight before the All-Star break. Break down what you expect out of this team tonight, and should Knicks fans hit the panic button if they lose to the Embiid-less 76ers?
So panic button's a little bit strong, but listen, I mean, there's no two ways around it. The 76ers have struggled without Joel Embiid. They've been a bad team without Joel Embiid. So, yes, the Knicks should win this game. That being said, they're playing on the road against Tyrese Maxey, who's a heck of a player. So I could see them losing this game. And like you said, they lost 4 in a row heading into the All-Star break. If they lose this game, their next game is against Boston. That could be a 6-game losing streak. The Knicks obviously want to avoid that. A win here would be big for them because then after Boston, they play Detroit. That's a win. So, yeah, you do not want a 6-game losing streak this late in the season.
Stefan Bondy, thanks for hopping on with us and enjoy Philly, my man.
All right, man. Appreciate it.